Beloved soul, the voice you hear deep within is not mere imagination. It is a divine whisper, a sacred connection to the heavens. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of truth, clarity, and courage, reminding us that your inner voice is the language of God flowing through you. When you pause amidst the chaos of life and listen to the stillness, you'll hear it, a quiet, steady guide. It speaks in moments of peace and even in the throes of doubt. This voice is the compass of your soul, placed within you by God to navigate life's trials and triumphs. Archangel Michael says, "Your inner voice carries the divine plan for your life." It is not a shout but a sacred whisper, urging you to rise when you feel defeated, to trust when fear clouds your mind, and to love when your heart feels heavy. This voice reminds you that you are never truly alone, even in your loneliest moments. Have you ever felt a gentle nudge when faced with a difficult decision or experienced a calm assurance amidst a storm? That is the divine voice, urging you to trust the unseen, to take steps guided not by sight but by faith. God assures you that this inner whisper is His Spirit moving within you, speaking of hope, courage, and renewal. Yet, the world's noise often tries to drown it out. The doubts, fears, and distractions can make you question its presence. But Archangel Michael tells you this: when the world becomes too loud, retreat into the sanctuary of your heart. For within, the divine awaits, speaking words of love and reassurance. Your inner voice is the thread connecting you to heaven's eternal wisdom. It tells you that you are chosen, loved, and cherished beyond measure. It is God's gentle reminder that you are part of His magnificent creation, carrying His light within you. Do not ignore it. When you hear that sacred voice calling you to forgive, to believe, or to take a leap of faith, trust it. It is a divine dialogue, a gift from God to guide and strengthen you. The sacred whispers within, those quiet yet profound messages that arise from the depths of your soul. These whispers are not figments of imagination or mere coincidences. They are the voice of God, lovingly guiding you through the intricate tapestry of life. This message is for those who have walked the early steps of spiritual awakening and now find themselves yearning for a deeper connection with their Creator. It is for those who have unburdened themselves from the distractions of worldly attachments, who have felt the pull to listen more closely to the divine wisdom residing within. Let me tell you this: the whispers of the soul are not reserved for saints or prophets. They are available to every one of God's children, but they require openness, trust, and patience to hear clearly. When you loosen the grip of stress, the chaos of relationships, and the constant pursuit of material things, you create space for stillness. In that stillness, the soul begins to speak. It may not sound like the booming voice of thunder or the majestic choir of angels, but rather a gentle nudge, a soft word, or a feeling of peace and certainty. Do not mistake these whispers for the noise of the mind or the confusion of mental affliction. They are distinct, filled with clarity and love, free from fear and doubt. These messages come not to frighten or confuse, but to guide and uplift. I, Michael, have seen countless souls embark on this journey, hesitating at first, doubting the validity of what they hear. But I assure you, when you open your heart to these messages and learn to discern their divine origin, you'll discover a wellspring of wisdom and peace. You may wonder, what use is this gift in the ordinary routines of life? Oh, beloved, it is far from ordinary. These whispers are God's way of walking with you in every decision, big or small. For instance, You may hear a voice urging you to pause before speaking words that might hurt another. You may feel a strong inner prompting to forgive someone who wronged you. Or perhaps, like the example shared, you hear a clear affirmation when deciding to pursue a path that aligns with God's purpose for you. Each whisper, no matter how small it may seem, is a thread in the larger tapestry of your life. When you begin to act on these messages with faith, you will see how beautifully they weave together to form a divine design, guiding you toward the abundant life God has promised. In the early stages of this journey, the whispers may feel faint or confusing. You might question whether what you hear is truly from God or just your own thoughts. This is natural. Just as a child learns to walk with unsteady steps, so too must you learn to interpret these sacred messages with time and practice. Do not fear making mistakes. Every misstep is an opportunity to grow in discernment. Seek clarity through prayer and reflection, and ask God to reveal His will more clearly. And remember, beloved, that this gift is not one to develop alone. Find a spiritual guide, someone who has walked this path before and can help you distinguish the voice of the soul from the noise of the world. Over time, as you deepen your relationship with God and align your heart with His, the whispers will become more pronounced, more unmistakable. You will find that they come not just in moments of quiet, but even in the busyness of life, cutting through the noise with divine clarity. As you grow in your ability to hear and understand the whispers, you will begin to notice something profound. These messages are not random or disconnected. They are part of a larger conversation between your soul and God's Spirit. When you ask for guidance in prayer and listen with an open heart, the Spirit answers. Sometimes the answers come as a gentle thought, other times as a sudden realization or an overwhelming sense of peace. These moments are sacred. They are God's way of walking beside you, reminding you that you are never alone. But this gift is not just for your benefit. As you learn to trust and act on these divine messages, you become a beacon for others. Your life becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness, and you find yourself helping those around you discern His will for their lives. I will not tell you this journey is without challenges. There will be times when the voice seems distant, and doubts creep in. The enemy seeks to sow confusion, making you question the whispers you hear. But do not lose heart. Remember that God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. When you feel uncertain, return to the quiet place of your heart. Pray, Lord, if this message is from you, make it clear to me. Trust that He will answer, for He delights in guiding His children. The rewards of this gift are immeasurable. You will experience a deeper intimacy with God, a profound sense of purpose, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. You will walk with confidence, knowing that every step you take is guided by the One who holds your life in His hands. Beloved, the whispers within are a divine invitation, a call to step into the fullness of your spiritual journey. They are the voice of God's love, gently drawing you closer to Him. Do not ignore them or dismiss them as unimportant. Instead, cherish them, nurture them, and let them guide you. For in listening to the whispers within, you will find the wisdom, strength, and courage to walk the path God has set before you. And remember this: I, Archangel Michael, stand by your side as you embark on this journey. I am your protector, your guide, and your encourager. When the world grows loud and the way seems uncertain, call upon me. Together, we will silence the noise and tune your heart to the voice of God. Beloved soul, it is time to listen, to trust, and to step boldly into the life your Creator has designed for you. The whispers within are waiting. Will you answer? Even now, Archangel Michael urges you to reflect. What is your inner voice saying? Is it calling you to let go of past wounds, to embrace new beginnings, or to trust in God's timing? Whatever it may be, know this: God speaks through your inner voice because He believes in you, loves you, and has prepared a divine purpose for your life. Dear soul, cherish this connection. Guard it fiercely, nurture it daily, and listen with an open heart. For in that voice lies your divine calling, the voice of God guiding you home to His eternal love and peace. It's time to find your voice. For too long, the weight of this world may have silenced you, dimming the brilliance of your truth. But I tell you, your voice is a gift from God, carrying the power to heal, inspire, and transform. God placed within you a voice unlike any other, a voice meant to declare His love, His promises, and His light to the world. Yet life, with its trials and heartaches, often buries that voice beneath fear, doubt, and the opinions of others. You may feel as though your words have lost their strength, or that no one is listening. But hear me now, dear one. Heaven listens. Heaven hears every unspoken prayer, every cry of the heart, and every word left unsaid. Your voice is not simply the sound of your words. It is the essence of your soul expressing itself in the world. It's in the way you comfort a grieving friend, the kindness you show to a stranger, and the courage you summon to speak truth in love. Your voice carries the vibration of your spirit, a sacred echo of the divine. Archangel Michael says, finding your voice means reclaiming the truth of who you are. It is stepping out of the shadows of fear and into the light of your God-given purpose. It means allowing your soul to sing the song it was created to share. But how do you find it, you may wonder? Begin by listening, not to the noise of the world, but to the whisper of God within you. Spend time in stillness and prayer, and you will hear the gentle nudge of the Holy Spirit. Your voice is already there, waiting for you to awaken it. Do not be afraid to speak your truth, even if it trembles at first. The enemy may try to convince you that your voice doesn't matter, that it's too late, or that you have nothing to offer. But these are lies. God says, I have called you by name, you are mine. Your voice matters because you matter, and the world needs your light now more than ever. When you speak from the heart, infused with faith and love, your voice becomes a beacon of hope. It carries the power to shift atmospheres, break chains, and uplift weary souls. Archangel Michael reminds you that finding your voice is not just about speaking, it's about living boldly, authentically, and fearlessly. Dear soul, the time is now. Rise with courage and faith. Let your voice proclaim God's goodness and shine His light into the world. You are chosen, beloved, and equipped to speak life into the hearts of those who are waiting to hear you. Archangel Michael speaks to you now, not to tell you something new, but to awaken a truth that has always been within you. Your inner voice, the one you sometimes doubt or ignore, is a sacred gift, a connection to the divine whisper of God's love and guidance. Its power is far greater than you realize, for it holds the key to your peace, your purpose, and your freedom. The inner voice is not loud. It doesn't demand your attention or compete with the clamor of the world. Instead, it resides in the quiet places of your heart, waiting patiently for you to notice. It speaks in moments of stillness, in the pause between breaths, and in the spaces where fear has no hold. This voice is the thread that ties your soul to heaven, a direct line to God's wisdom and care. I, Michael, ask you, have you ever felt an unshakable knowing, a nudge to act, or a soft reassurance that no matter how dark the path seems, you are not alone? That is the power of your inner voice. It is the divine presence within you, urging you to trust, to persevere, and to step boldly into the life God has prepared for you. But too often, the world's noise drowns it out. Fear, doubt, and the weight of past regrets can silence this sacred guide. When you ignore it, you may feel lost, as though you are wandering without a map. Yet even then, the voice remains. It never leaves you. It never gives up on you. God's love is relentless, and His voice within you will always call you back to His arms. The power of your inner voice lies in its divine origin. It carries God's authority to calm storms in your heart and light the path through uncertainty. It is the voice that reminds you of your worth when the world tries to diminish you. It tells you to forgive when bitterness tempts you and to rise when life knocks you down. Archangel Michael urges you now, do not be afraid to trust this voice. It is not the voice of confusion or chaos. It is the voice of peace and clarity. When you learn to listen and obey, miracles unfold. You will find strength you didn't know you had. Doors will open where there seemed to be no way, and the answers you've long sought will reveal themselves in divine timing. Beloved, the power of your inner voice is the power of God working through you. Embrace it, honor it, and let it guide you into a life of courage, purpose, and love. Heaven rejoices when you listen, for in doing so, you align with the Creator's plan for your life, a plan filled with hope, joy, and the light of His eternal presence. To hear God's voice is to step into a holy conversation that has always existed, a conversation He has been initiating since the moment He formed you. But the world, with its noise and distractions, often pulls you away, making you believe His voice is reserved for others. I am here to tell you, His voice is meant for you. God speaks in stillness, in the quiet places of your heart. To hear Him, you must create space. Begin by quieting the external noise of the world. Turn off distractions, step away from chaos, and enter into a place of peace. But even more importantly, quiet the noise within. Release the fears, doubts, and endless thoughts that clutter your mind. Surrender them to God, and let your heart become a sanctuary where His voice can be heard. In this sacred stillness, you will begin to sense His presence. God's voice is not always loud or commanding. Often, it is a gentle whisper, a nudge, or a thought that brings peace and clarity. Trust that He speaks in ways your heart can understand. Prayer is the doorway to divine conversation. But remember, prayer is not just about speaking to God. It is also about listening. After you pour out your heart to Him, sit in silence and wait. Resist the urge to fill the space with words. Trust that He will speak, even if His voice comes in ways you do not expect. Scripture, too, is a vessel for His voice. As you read His Word, do so with an open heart, asking, Lord, what are you saying to me through this? His Spirit will illuminate passages, bringing them to life in your soul. You may feel a verse resonate deeply, as if it were written just for you in that moment. God's voice carries a divine fingerprint. It is always loving, encouraging, and aligned with His Word. It does not bring confusion or fear, but peace and clarity. When you hear a thought or prompting, ask yourself, does this align with God's character? Does it lead me closer to Him? God's voice will never condemn or shame you. Even when He corrects or guides, it is done with love and gentleness, calling you to a higher path. Beloved, hearing God's voice is not about perfection, it is about relationship. Do not be discouraged if you struggle at first. Like learning to recognize the voice of a dear friend, it takes time and familiarity. Keep seeking, keep listening, and keep trusting. God delights in speaking to you. Open your heart, create space, and listen. His voice is already calling your name. Will you answer?